Shalom Yashrala, this your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Ragakudash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and our will. And salutation, much love for Yakim, pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump to this here article real quick. It says fatal earthquake hits South America. All right, and here we go again with these, more and more earthquakes. It says the magnitude, and we have way more earthquakes than what's actually reported. You can go get certain earthquake apps and things like that, and they'll tell you about the amount of different earthquakes and volcanoes that are going off from day to day. All right, like I mentioned before, there's a channel on YouTube. It's called the acronym for this SOTT. All right, and it stands for Signs of the Times. You can watch this their channel, and pretty much all it is a compilation video that they create of a bunch of news events that happens pretty much from month to month. And you can see a lot of the different, so-called weather events and things like that that happen on there. All right, because again, like I said, they don't really put a lot of these different stories like this on your regular news and everything else like that. So you'd be hard pressed to actually find any of these things that happen. But they do have some YouTubers. They have their channels dedicated to just showing that type of news to where you can kind of keep up on those things as well. But nevertheless, it says fatal earthquake hit South America. The magnitude 6.7 quake killed at least 15 people and caused widespread damage. And if you can see in this here image here, but there's some videos a little further down we'll play a little bit of. But hey, man, it looks like a war zone out there, man. And I believe in this here video, this picture that you see here with this Jeep, because I believe this is the exact same one that's in one of these videos. It look somebody might have passed away in this doggone car. You know what I'm saying? Maybe got judged up in this bad boy. You'll see in the video they'll be looking inside the car or trying to get somebody out of the car. I can't quite tell, but nevertheless, hey, this is that judgment that's going forth. All right, again, you have all this distraction stuff that's going on here in America. Where the majority. I was speaking about this over the weekend. With the what do you call it? The St. Patrick's Day holiday, people eating, drinking, and marrying and giving into marriage. Meanwhile, prophecy is taking place. Meanwhile, judgment is going forth. Meanwhile, the Lord is turning up on people, but hey, the prophecy is also being fulfilled. They was eating, drinking, marrying, and giving into marriage as well. All right. So it says fatal earthquake hit South America. It says the magnitude 6.7 quake struck Ecuador and Peru on Saturday, damaging roads, leveling buildings, and killing at least 15 people, while over 126 suffered injuries, according to the initial estimates. All right, now, hey, there's going to be some names down here in some of these cities. I'm going to try to pronounce them, but hey, forgive me if I don't pronounce them correctly. But, in this here scenario, there's nowhere near as many deaths so far as was out there in Turkey. All right, but hey, nevertheless, you have, all this damage. People's lives are still affected, man. All right, maybe, wasn't as many deaths, but think about, this is actually in a somewhat of a populated area. All right, so hey, just imagine how many homes are destroyed, the amount of money that's or damage that's been caused. It says Ecuadorian President Guillermo Lasso office confirmed 14 deaths after the quake struck the coastal Goyas region around noon. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the epicenter was located roughly 50 miles south of Guayaquil, Ecuador, Ecuador's second largest city. It says the coastal state of El Oro, immediately to the south of the epicenter, multiple people were killed when a structure collapsed on the island of Jambeli. All right, and so again, buildings collapsing on folks, and they have these initial numbers and things like that. But when you have these buildings collapsing, all right, and they don't so-called confirm dead until they pull out a lifeless body. So you may have they may say, hey, look, there's 15 people dead and thousands of people missing. And as time goes on, that's when they'll start racking up that death toll. But we'll see how this all plays out, because this is fairly recent. It says in the coastal state of El Oro, immediately to the south of the epicenter, multiple people were killed when a structure collapsed on the island of Jambeli. Another person was reportedly killed while traveling in a vehicle that became trapped under the rubble of a collapsing house in the town of Cuncia. Now, I believe that's what this image is up here. All right. Now, because like I said, you'll see a video short further on down. It says across the border in Peru, a 4-year-old girl was killed with her home in the border region of Tumbes, according to the Prime Minister of Alberto. I'm not going to try to pronounce that, but nevertheless, it says, yeah, and that's, again, that's just one scenario where one house they found out, that one little girl wound up dying in that. But again, you got structural collapses and things like that. You don't know what the final number is. All right. It says elsewhere, destruction of houses, commercial buildings, power, energy infrastructure, and roads were reported by Ecuador's risk management, I guess, secretariat. All right. We'll get back to these videos here. It says video footage from the affected area shows some of the damage, with clips from Cuncia appearing to capture the immediate aftermath of the fatalities there. It says Ecuador sits along the junction of the Nazca and South American plates and suffers regular earthquakes. The most powerful in recent years was in 2016, which registered a magnitude of 7.8 and hit the country's northwestern coast near the town of Musin. It killed at least 675 people and injured more than 16,000 while causing around $3 billion in damage. All right, so hey, that judgment is going forth. All right, so let's watch some of these here videos. And like I said, I do believe. Let me see if that's the same building. Yeah, this looks like the exact same building right here. I'm looking at this here little terrace over here at the top, over top of these firefighters' head, right where the one's pointing up to that little balcony up there with the two people standing on. All right, and then going down, you can see that same building over here on the right-hand side. All right, in this here video. Now look at the left-hand side. It looks like it's the exact same building. So yeah, this is this truck right here. We'll watch this video of it. All right. And like I said, looking at the posture of the people that's on top of the vehicle, it looks like there's somebody that's trapped inside that vehicle. All right. And, reading in the article, they said one person died that way, being trapped inside their vehicle. So, hey, that may have been what that was. All right. Here's a different video. As you can see in this here video, man, a bunch of buildings collapsed, man. So like I said, you just don't know how many deaths are actually going to be reported at the end all be all. All right, here's another one. I'm not sure if this is actually like a boating building or a house or whatever. It sounds like it's saying house, but inside the water.
Terremoto, las casas como se cayeron allá. Y el agua. Mire la gente cómo está. Fue feo, feo. La casa de allá también, mira.
Hey, and so there you have it. This here earthquake. Let me see. Matter of fact, let me grab some precepts out of here real quick. Hey, there you have it. All right. So you have more and more of these earthquakes that's just like leveling cities and things like that, man. You see all this hang on one second. You see all this destruction and stuff going forth, all right? And like I said, while all these people out here, like the scriptures speak about eating, drinking, marrying, and giving into marriage, living it up, being distracted by these devices that's out here. All right, the Lord is going forth with his judgment. All right. So matter of fact, let me just start here first and we'll end up with that. This is Matthew 24. All right. Matthew 24, I'm going to start at verse 3. It says, "And he sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world?" All right. So, hey, the question was asked about the signs of the Lord's coming and the end of the world. All right. We could just go ahead and read it on down. All right. To verse 8. It says, "And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And boy, are we in that time like that right now. You have the conflict that's going on between Russia and Ukraine. All right, you have the talks about China and America with the Taiwan situation. All right, you have America's allies looking at America sideways. All right, so all these different wars and rumors of wars are being talked about as we speak. All right, the different red lines are being crossed. Hey, if they do this, we're gonna do that, and all these different things. World War III is a lot closer than it's ever been before. All right, it's actually a so-called believable thing now. Back in the days, I can speak for myself when I first started going out to the highways and the byways, speaking about World War III, all right, in a nuclear war with Russia and things like that, having the signs, people will walk by and look at us like we were stupid. You're like, oh, where y'all been? The Cold War, hey, that conflict been over with. Well, I don't know what y'all talking about. But now you talk about World War III, talk about nuclear destruction. Hey, people be like, yeah, I believe it. That's we gonna see that in our times. All right, so hey, this is something that one of these prophecies that's speaking not to put it that way, it's speaking as we speak. Verse 7 again, and nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines. All right, and a lot of these famines are what? Man-made famines. You see a lot of these, with the, how do you call it, the pandemic, a lot of the shutdowns and the shipping, how do they say, the shipping corridors or whatever it is, the chain, supply chain slow down and everything that happened. All right, then they started blaming it on Russia with the grains and all that stuff that's over there in Ukraine and everything else like that. All right, now you have like what do they call those food production facilities, how you put it, these food processing plants that started burning down and everything else like that. Mysteriously airplanes started crashing into them and everything else like that. All right, the bird flus and everything had to get rid of a lot. All right, a lot of this famine stuff is being orchestrated, from the higher ups. All right, just so they can bring in what we know of as what that great the great temptation of the world is going to lead into what the MOTB. All right, so it says there should be famines and pestilence. All right, you have the different diseases. All right, the different things that's going on, not just sicknesses and diseases, but you have other things like with the Ohio train spill, right? The chemicals and things that's going up. Think about the fallout and the sicknesses that the people are going to wind up getting from that. All right. It says there should be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places, and all these are the beginning of sorrows. And are we not seeing, like I said, the Turkey, the Syria, Peru, Ecuador, all right, and many other places that are not necessarily promoting on the news and everything else like that, man. These earthquakes are going forth and just leveling cities, man. All right, I believe it was over there in Syria where they had these historic cities that was there for thousands of years, wound up just getting like leveled and things like that, man. All right, so the Lord is coming forth and showing forth, let me grab this precept real quick in Isaiah. Isaiah 29:6, it says, thou shalt be visited of Yahweh of hosts with thunder and with earthquakes and great noise, with storm and tempest and flames of devouring fire. All right. And that, hey, we had these big major storms. I know here in Florida last year, all right, we had these, you had one big major hurricane. You had the second one that came after that. But, you had these hurricanes that's coming through and just leveling stuff, man. All right. Florida looked like a damn a war zone after the hurricanes last year, man. Everything being leveled, complete neighborhoods had just trees down all over the place, man. All right, roads, I just remember it vividly, man. All right, looking outside my window and everything kind of looks straight, but then you start trying to move around, you realize a bunch of trees down in the roads and things, roads completely underwater and everything else like that, man. People without power for a while, for weeks on end. All right, and people can't get food and everything because, hey, we all out of power. All right, everybody looking for food, so the little food that you can find in the little grocery stores and everything else like that is pretty much all sold out. All right, so hey, that's a problem in itself. But it also goes on to say earthquakes. All right, and we have a scenario like that that's going on right about now, man. I guarantee they still over there cleaning up after that earthquake over there in Turkey. All right, it says in great noise and storms with tempest and with flames and devouring fire. And you also have what they call forest fires and things like that that rip through every damn thing. All right, hey, now look, California and them just was going through all that snow and everything that they had going on over there. Guess what's about to come around the corner from all of that, man? All right, they about to be back in the forest fire season and everything else like that, man. So they go through what extreme droughts to extreme rains to what snow and shit going on over there to forest fires going on over there, man. But hey, look at this type of stuff that goes on over there in California, man. All right, but nevertheless, hey, the Lord is coming through. Let's go ahead and grab that. We'll close out with that. The Lord is coming through with this here judgment, man. All right. This is 2 Ezra 9:1. It says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I told thee before, then thou shalt well understand it's the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. All right, and we starting to see those signs as we were reading in Matthew 24 coming to pass, the wars and rumors of wars, pestilence, the famines, earthquakes in diverse places. This is all the Lord visiting the earth, all right, and and sending forth judgment. All right, in reality, it's more like warning shots. All right, because hey, the Lord could really just put in some major work, all right, on these people. But hey, it's just like he'll kill a couple here, kill a couple there. All right, but this is only going to intensify and get way worse as we go further and further into the end. All right, you think it's bad now, think you're seeing some death and destruction now. Hey, as we get closer and closer to that final day or that final countdown, man. You could, like the scriptures speak about, you're going to have blood in the streets all the way up to a horse's bridle, man. All right. It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. All right. And we have this going on right about now. All right. You have the banking systems that are collapsing. All right. And people are in uproars around the world trying to get their money up out of these banks, man. All right. You have different uproars of the people around the world. You got people that's protesting the war over there in the Ukraine. All right. Sending more and more weapons over there that's bankrupting their countries. You got people over here in America that's protesting and shit about the police departments and everything else like that, man. So you have uproars of the people in the world right here at this here point in time, alongside with these major earthquakes is going on, right? It says, and then shall thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like all that is made in the world hath a beginning and the end is manifest. All right, so it's clear that we here at the end. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. So, hey, there's going to be signs and different effects that's going on in the world. It's going to let you know that we're going to be here at the end. All right. And like the scripture here says, the end is manifest. It's clear as day, by reading the scriptures, this is where we at. This is where we at. Going back into, what I was going into over the weekend in camp. All right. The importance of prophecy, man. All this stuff is going on, and you have all this prophecy that's taking place. But hey, if you don't understand any of these things, it's going to just be oblivious unto you, man. All right, you're going to get caught like a thief in the night, as the Bible speaks about. But I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, the elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakakudash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders, the great millstone that taught us this truth and ever will. And salutation, much love for you. I can push this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say stay strong. Shalom.